Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I was recently thinking about something to put in a YouTube video, so I thought why not do a review on my sort of new favourite show. So today I'm going to do a little review of The Circle, which was on Channel 4, and it actually finished this time last week. Last Friday was the last episode. So obviously I watched The Circle last year. I absolutely loved The Circle, and then this year I thought, oh, I don't know if it's going to be as good, because sometimes when they do like series 2 or whatever, it's not as good. But to be fair, I think it was just as good. I don't think it's sort of any better, this series, but I did think that it was an absolutely fantastic series. So I've just sort of written a few notes about my favourite moments from The Circle. So obviously this series was changed up a hell of a lot, because you had the live studio audience, and it went live like last year. The only time that they went live with the presenters, I believe, was on the actual final. So all the people that have been in The Circle were in the studio and they sort of interviewed them, just like this year's. But it wasn't like in this series. Every Friday Emma Willis was live, which I thought was actually fantastic, and I really did enjoy that side, because like when it first started, people were like, oh my god, it's going to be too much like Big Brother, they're turning The Circle into Big Brother. And I have to say, I did sort of think that at the start. I did think, oh my god, they are turning The Circle into Big Brother. But thankfully it sort of worked with the studio on one. I'm glad it was only in the studio once a week, because I think any more than sort of once a week, it was going to be a bit too much. And also I liked it when it was in the studio, they sort of extended the show. I think it was on for an hour and a half every Friday night, because obviously you have like a whole hour's worth of footage from the couple of days before, because it's sort of filmed 2 days. Like today, if it was being filmed today, today's episode would be filmed and it'll air on Sunday, sort of thing, because today's obviously Friday. So I did actually really like that side of The Circle this year. And I obviously Emma Willis is fantastic at every single job she does. She's an incredible TV presenter. And yeah, so I thought that the people that were actually in The Circle were fantastic. Of course, like everybody else, my favourite was Tim. I absolutely adored that man. I think he's the most genuine soul. He's just, there's not a bad bone in his body. And like when he had to make like sort of like bad decisions in The Circle, like to send someone home or something, he was so apologetic and he was just so lovely, and I absolutely loved him. And I've subscribed to him on YouTube, I've followed him on Facebook, everything, and I just think he's absolutely fantastic. Tim, Woody and Ella were my favourites this year. I personally think, because obviously Paddy won, the Irish boy, he won the show, and I personally think that Tim or Ella should have won. I would have loved to have seen them two, one of them, win the show. I'm so glad that Tim won like the people's favourite, so he got 30,000 and Paddy got 70,000. So, but I really would have loved Tim to win, or Ella. I think Ella was absolutely fantastic. Loved Ella so much. I loved her energy, her spirit. I just adored her so much. She was just so lovely, and like she didn't have a bad word to say about anyone, and like literally she loved everyone. And that's sort of what, I know it sounds absolutely pathetic, but that's sort of what let her down. Because like she'd say, oh, you're my bestie, you're my bestie, you're my bestie, you're my mum, you're this, that, and people were like, they saw that as sort of false, when on viewers on the outside sort of loved Ella, and Ella should have been in that final, because obviously it was down to Tim and Georgina to pick out of, they sort of narrowed it down because they were the influencers, to pick if Ella or Paddy should have gone home, and of course they saved Paddy, meaning that Ella went home. And Georgina obviously had to break the news to her face to face, and I was just like, oh my god, she's so adorable. Ella was just fantastic. I loved everything about Ella, and she's just an absolute darling, to be fair. So yes, as I said just then, Paddy won the show, so he took the £70,000 home, which was absolutely fantastic for him. He's a lovely, lovely boy. Do I think he deserved to win? I've got to be honest and say no. I don't think that he deserved to win. I think there was people in there more that deserved to win, like Tim, Woody, Ella. To be fair, I think Georgina, I like Georgina, but I think she should have been up there over Paddy to win, because obviously she's got her whole Crohn's disease story, which I thought was so brave of her. And of course, obviously, I know that Paddy had he's got cerebral palsy, but I just think that sort of people have sort of said that Paddy was never an influencer once. He never sort of got involved much, and he won the show, which I think, you know, he's perfectly entitled to win the show, and you know, he's a lovely boy, he really is. But should he have won it? I'm sort of swaying to the no side. I think that there was others in there that should have won. It's my own opinion, but of course let me know if you think that he should have won, or who should have won, in the comments below this video. So yeah, so I wanted to do this video at the start of this week, but life has been so hectic, so I thought Friday's better than never. So another person that I loved other than Ella and Tim, nearly forgot their names, was Woody. I thought them three had the most loveliest souls. They were just absolutely adorable, and Woody was, I mean, come on, he's got obviously Norman Cook, who's Fatboy Slim, and Zoe Ball as parents. You could sort of think that he could be a sort of a bit big-headed and like, oh my god, I've got famous parents, but he wasn't, and he is just the sweetest boy. And I really do think that Zoe Ball and Norman Cook, Fatboy Slim, just get that in there, did such a good job of raising him. Literally, he's the kindest soul, and he would do anything for anyone, and I just loved him. And I think for him to sort of be, because obviously the winner was chosen by the fellow players, so for him to be voted 5th in the series, I just think is a bit blah, because I would loved that boy to have won, because he is just an absolute diamond. Another thing that I loved was obviously Georgina being so open about her Crohn's disease. I mean, she's helped so many people. You only have to go on Twitter to see how many people that she's helped with coming out about her bag and her Crohn's disease. She's another lovely girl, and she's just so brave. And sort of when she met Richard Madeley, and he was like, oh my god, he's like, you're so brave, and he said, you're going to win this, and she cried, he nearly cried, I was crying, and it was like the whole nation was crying. And I honestly think that she's a credit. She really is an absolute credit, and her mum, who she was on there, should be so proud. So one thing that I didn't like, and to be fair, it really got on my nerves, was Basayo. So she obviously played Josh, who she obviously was catfishing it. And one thing that I didn't like about her, I liked her when she was in the circle, is I didn't like her on last week's final. Throughout the whole hour's programme, she had a face like a slapped bum, shall we say. And when like they cut to on the camera, and she had to, like, all the audience were clapping, like the fellow, she was like this. And I'm just like, oh my god, you know, you couldn't be less interested in this. Why bother going? Why bother going? She trended on Twitter because obviously her face, like her facial expressions, I should say, like were made into memes and things. But I just think, you know, come off it. These people have done so well to get into like the final 5, and you couldn't be less interested. If you wanted to be, you shouldn't have gone, really. And I know that she's done a whole backlash video saying that she was happy and this, that and the other, but I was like, you know, you don't have to sit there like you're at a funeral sort of thing and be, you know, don't, you know, appreciate that you had. There's thousands of people that would have absolutely give their right arm to be in her position, to actually go into the circle. Can you just imagine going into the circle? I know I would have absolutely loved to have gone into that circle. But she just come across so ungrateful, and then she's moaning about the sort of trolling that she got online, and it's like, just, you know, show some support. These people have come like 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd and 1st, you know, show them support. That's enough negativity for this video. So one thing that I wanted to talk about was Sammy. Now Sammy / James, obviously James was playing the single mother who had the baby, but obviously he's a boy, a young fitness boy, you know, who walked around with his top off all day long. And I loved his story behind it, because obviously he grew up with just his mum. His mum was a single mum, and she struggled with money, and he said, if I win the circle, he said, I just want my mum to never have to worry about money again. And I thought his story, literally, so many of them like this year had fantastic stories, and I think that his story was obviously absolutely amazing for what he wanted to go in there for, to win the money. I did think that at some points he was quite big-headed, and I did think that Like sometimes it was just like, oh my God. And I did notice that he said, he didn't say it while he was in the circle, when he came out and he did his interview with Emma Willis, he sort of said that halfway through the circle he sort of dropped talking about Charlie, who was meant to be his little son, and he sort of come out of character a bit and he started to play himself. And I did notice that, but to be fair, I didn't like that sort of side to him. Like, he'd be so two-faced, like he was moaning about like other people being two-faced, but he'd be so two-faced himself, and he'd be like chatting to people going, oh, all right, hun, you know, I know obviously he's playing a character, but, and then he'd be like, oh yeah, F you, this, that and the other. And I was just like, since he's come out, like I've been watching their Instagram stories, and he seems a lovely boy, and I do still like him, but I just didn't like I didn't like the COT or Circle of Trust, whatever he called it, when he had Georgina and Paddy on his side to try and get the sort of the popular players out of the game. I didn't like that, to be fair. I thought that was sort of a bit uncalled for, because they're all, you know, I know it's a game show and they all want to win the £100,000, but at the end of the day they all have as much right. They shouldn't be sort of dwindled down for them sort of reasons. But yeah, I'm just glad that he didn't get that influencer with Tim, because the last time he was an influencer he really caused trouble with Tim, and Tim saw straight through him. Well, at the time he thought it was Sammy. So moving on to that meet, when they met for the first time and like Catfish Sammy was revealed, it was fantastic. Literally, when Tim walked in and saw James sitting there, I was like, oh my God, this is TV gold. And this is why it's one of my most favourite TV shows, because I just adore The Circle. Another person that I think was quite misunderstood was Brooke. I really do think that she was misunderstood. Like, people were just saying like things about her, like being two-faced and all that, and sitting on the fence, and I was like, I don't see that. I don't see that. I see her as like a really nice girl. I think she came across absolutely lovely. And when her and Georgina met for the first time, because obviously they struck up quite a nice friendship, when they met for the first time, it was adorable, literally. But I just, yeah, I didn't see this two-facedness. I mean, if you saw it, let me know in the comment section below this video. But I did not think, oh my God, she's so two-faced at all. I thought she's a lovely girl, and like what she was like in The Circle is what she's like on her YouTube channel. So is she being two-faced on YouTube when she's got no reason to be? She's got nothing to win, you know, she's got an audience already. So I absolutely loved Brooke. I thought she was lovely. One person that I don't think had enough time in there was Sai. Yeah, it was Sai. He was obviously first to go, and was he first to go? No, he wasn't. He was second to go. I really didn't think that was he first to go? I can't remember now. Whatever. I really didn't think that he had enough time in there, because obviously he's a farmer, and I know he kept talking about his cows and being a farmer, but I really, really, really didn't think that he had enough time in there. And it was actually quite a shame, because I really liked Sai, and I know Tim said that Sai was one of his favourites, and I do think it was a massive shame that he didn't stay for longer and then they sort of got rid of him, because I think that he could have potentially been there in the final, to be fair, because I did, as I say, I did really, really like him. But yeah, so no, I would have liked Ella, Tim or Woody to win. Tim up there, Ella next, and then Woody. Then people, and what wound me up is also is people were saying like on Twitter and things that, oh, Woody don't deserve to win because he's loaded already. No, he's not. You know, his mum and dad might have money, but his mum has said that he had chores where he had to earn pocket money anyway, so they're not just like chucking all their money into his bank account. He hasn't got money. He's a young lad. He's 18 years old, for heaven's sake. You know, and I really do think that people are just like, oh, just because, you know, a member of their family, or two members of their family in Woody's case, are famous, that they're going to be absolutely raking in money, even though, you know, he's never been on telly before. He's never sort of, I think he said he worked in a bar, but and that's what I think is fantastic. He's earning his own money, and, you know, he's not relying on his parents, which is absolutely fantastic. So an overall thought of this year's Circle, I absolutely loved it. I was gripped. Them 3.5 weeks flew by. And oh, I tell you, I can't wait. Like, I know it said at the end of the programme that there might be another potential series and you can apply, but I love The Circle. It's one of my favourites. And obviously, you know me, I was a massive fan of Big Brother when it was on, and now I think that The Circle has overtook Big Brother, even though it's not on anymore. And I never thought I'd be saying that. I think, to be fair, The Circle has actually overtook I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and that is saying something, because I absolutely adore The Jungle. Absolutely love that program. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, people. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, it's greatly appreciated. Please don't forget to give this video the big thumbs up. Let me know your favourite moments from The Circle in the comments section below this video, and I'm going to be right back here with more videos. I'm a bit quiet at the moment on YouTube because I've had so much to do just lately, so I thought I've got a couple of hours spare, so I'll quickly get this video filmed and upload it. I'm so sorry it's late. As I say, I wanted to do it the weekend, but the weekend never happened. I wanted to do it Monday, and that never happened, and it's got today, so here it is. But I hope you've enjoyed. So yeah, as I say, let me know your thoughts on The Circle below this video, and yeah, I hope you have a lovely evening, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye bye.